Okay, today's lesson is on intersection of graphs, solving equations graphically. Now, intersection is a point, which is x coordinate and y coordinate. So you need to write it like this form, and where two lines, straight lines, meet together at a point. Okay, let's start with example. I'm going to push this up. Okay. First question, sketch y equals x squared and y equals 1 on the same set of axes, number plane, and hence solve x squared equals 1 graphically. Now, before we start, you always need to understand the question. So you read a question more than once if you need to, and then collect the information, which is underlining it, all the key words here. So we've got to do two things here, don't we? So sketch, we're going to do this, sketch y equals x squared and y equals 1 on the same set of axes, which is the same one number plane. Hence, now this is an important word, hence is often referred to the previous information you have to use in order to do the next part. So hence solve. Now when it says solve, it's always think of it as to find the value of something, not expression, value. Okay, and x squared equals 1. So here the value is the x values, but we are quite used to do algebraically, but this time we've got to do graphically. Okay, so sketch the two graphs on the same number plane, hence use that graph, solve, find the x values graphically. That's what the question is asking. So let's solve. The first one, I've just got the graph done already for you, but you can pause this video and have a go at it by yourself. First, I sketched y equals x squared, which is a parabola, and the vertex is a 0, 0, because it's a plus 0. It doesn't go up or down, it stays on here, x-axis here. And then I sketch y equals 2, that's a horizontal line, go through 1 on y-axis. Okay, now how did I find this x coordinates when y equals 1? All I've done was just substitute in when y equals 1, because that's what it hits, y equals 1, I just substitute the y equals 1 into the parabola equation, and I'll get the x equals plus 1 minus 1. Now, it's not ideal because the question says graphically. So if you actually sketch this properly on the grid paper and done it proper, correct, appropriate scale with it, you probably will be able to see it and can tell where it actually x coordinates when y equals 1. Okay, but it's always nice to actually check that with the graphically, algebraically. So the solution for this graph is x equals plus minus 1. Okay, so that's done. Next one. I'm going to put that on up. Okay. Let's see if I can just make it a bit straight. Yep. Part B. Sketch y equals x squared minus x and y equals 2 on the same set of axes, on the same number plane. Okay, so let's have a look. So this one is what? Parabola. And that's the horizontal line again. So, and then hence solve x squared minus x equals 2 graphically. So this means it's just putting together, really. Like a previous part A, we had to put 2 together. So this will be putting this together. So first we actually graphically graph them separately, and then we put them together to solve it. So again, got to do two things. Okay, so that's what I've done already. already done for you here. So I sketched the y equals x squared minus x, and then y equals 2. So it hits there. And then I done it again like what I did before, graphically. Done it, and then I'll check with algebraically. So here, when y equals 2, and I substitute 2 into the parabola equation, and I made it into quadratic equation equal to 0. Now, I can factorize this nicely. 2 is a prime number, so 2 factors there. And the middle part, which is the sum of the 2 factors, is negative. So the bigger number should be negative and a plus. So I will have minus 1 and 2 as my x values when y equals 2. That's what I've got. When y equals 2, I get x values minus 1, x values 2. That's what I've got there. Okay, so that's what part B is. Part C. Now, combine those two together. We need to solve this graphically. Now, this is extension 1 question. The other two parts were advanced. This is extension 1 because I think it's got inequalities. So let's have a look. Now, I've done the whole thing together. I'm going to cover this one. Okay, so we're going to use the graph that we've done in part B, but this one is not equal anymore. It has inequality in it. Now, if you think about this, 2 is bigger than this part, okay? This part is smaller than 2. So when you look at this, we're looking at below the y equals 2 because this parabola is below, the smaller than 2. So this is all part that is less than 2. In that less than 2, we just have to look at parabola part, okay? So solve, again, the verb here, solve is find the x values. So we just have to look at the x values here. And the parabola is in between minus 1 and 2. So my solution is x is between minus 1 equal to and less than 2 and or equal to. So it'll be minus 1 x 2. So x is bigger than or equal to negative 1 and x is less than or equal to 2.